Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR 25 career mode here on the channel. The third and final season is well underway now as we've got about 40 days until NASCAR 26 releases and we try to finish off this career mode before then, which I think we're good on time. But today we have Kansas Speedway and the All-Star race coming your way as well. I have a major announcement for this career mode. Breaking news! Next episode in the Coke 600, we are going to be attempting the double. That's right, we will be attempting the Indianapolis 500 as well as the Coca-Cola 600, all in the same episode. We will be starting for Team McLaren in IndyCar and then coming back here in Charlotte and attempting to win the illustrious Coca-Cola 600, which I really want to win, by the way. I love that track, I love that race, and I just really want to win it. But I also want to perform well in the Indy 500. So next episode, we will be taking on that feat, and yeah, I'm excited to see how we're going to do, in Charlotte. I'm hopeful for a strong race. But you see our qualifying order there. We qualified directly in the middle of the field. We picked up our third win of the season just recently, and that meant Glenn Lawrence, our spotter, Sean Sinclair, our tire changer, Trey K, our jackman, and Thomas as the tire carrier have all found some success this season as pit crew members of this number 15 team. So congratulations to them, of course, on some of the recent successes as well. Now is Glenn Lawrence actually at the top of the pit crew members all time in this career mode so far. Now as we get ready to go, green flag is out for race 1 of 2. Here today we'll be racing for $1 million a little bit later. As 20 laps in this opening stage here from Kansas Speedway, we find ourselves in the middle of the pack, expecting to try and of course spend the first stage working our way forward, and hopefully just maybe we can sneak ourselves into a top 10 position or so, but it's not going to be easy as we head down this back straightaway towards turn number 3, and you're immediately going to see me moving up to this kind of third lane, ripping the top here now, or not quite the top, but on that seam, of course, and maybe get a little bit closer to the wall a little bit later on now as we are going to see today the lack of speed down a straightaway against the AI, and this is something I'm hope is fixed for NASCAR 26 with the AI. Is the AI are always faster in the or on the straightaways than the player, but then the player kind of is faster than the AI a lot in the corners, so the balancing of where the AI is faster and slower against the player is definitely something that's going to need some improvement here going into NASCAR 26 now. As you can see, getting a little bit aggressive, jumping from the bottom to the top in front of the 23, big shove from Wallace takes me to the inside of the number 6 of Brad Keselowski into turn 3, and we'll pass him. Just all about right now, doing that kind of one pass at a time as we continue now to the inside of the number 2 of Austin Cindric, as we will now make the position on him get up to 17th here as we're coming to lap 5 already. And next up, we're running down the 54 Ty Gibbs as we throw a bit of a block there on the number 71 here as we head down the front straightaway. But 15 laps to go in stage 1. If this goes green the entire way, we will be pitting under green flag conditions here today in stage 1, and well, all stages for the matter of that, as we continue on. Now the 71 to my inside, and at this point I was kind of going back and forth. Some corners I was running the bottom, some corners I was sticking up to the outside, just kind of trying to get a feel of which lane's going to really better, put me in a better off position, especially on the exit of the corner. Now, of course, running the top, you're going to have a little bit more speed down the straightaway, but running the bottom seems like you get the best run through the corner, but you're lacking speed down the straightaway compared to the AI a lot more than you would be if you were doing this right here on the top. So right now, the thing was, though, I was kind of grilling that right front tire, and that was causing me to get really tight here, so that was making my progress now quite a bit significantly slower at this point now as we come to lap 9, and already thinking about, okay, we'll be coming into the pit soon, making some adjustments, getting 4 tires, getting some fuel in this car as well here now. So I was just kind of waiting on the right time, but we would then run down the 12, the 60, the 16 of Blaney, Priest, Almendinger as well, who's having a nice top 15 run right now, but now Blaney covering off that outside line, so we have to go to the middle lane. But now we are going to make our pit stop, and we're going to be pitting only a few laps early, maybe 2 to 3 laps early, and we're going to lower a few of these tire pressures here to try and get this car a little bit better. I don't like lowering the tire pressures all the way to 15 sometimes because it actually makes the game a little bit too easy, so I do like to make it as challenging as possible here, but definitely got some leeway for what we can do. But we'll be pitting right here on the exit of turn 471. Fortunately gets around me. We're going to be the only one pitting here. I was a bit surprised because we only have 3 laps of fuel in the car at this point now, so I did expect to see more drivers come in, but as we complete our pit stop, it's going to be 16 seconds, and we'll return to the track now. Dead last, 1 lap down, so there is some cars in the pit lane now per the track map. Now as the round goes to 47, and we're a lap down. Caution is out. You've got to be kidding me. Everyone in the pit lane right now is going to be able to stay out, meaning Chastain will lead. Fortunately, we are the free pass. I was the only car a lap down. And actually, Kyle Larson ends up apparently getting the lead out of all this somehow. So as we return back to the green flag, well, obviously that horrifically timed caution went from me trying to undercut and gain a bunch of track position and get into the top 10 to now we're dead last in 40th place with a now focus on really just trying to get, I would say we got 4 laps to go. Really just trying to get top 30. Top 30 to set ourselves up for stage 2, I think, is really the mentality now. And we're 3 wide in the middle with Custer and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. as well as we head down into turn 1. And with 3 to go, making some gains. Now, Ryan Blaney, he also got screwed over as well. He was not put a lap down, but he was one of the drivers that got hit by a poorly timed yellow, and he's way down the order as well. So we were racing right around him when we came into the pits now. So it's nice to see some familiar faces back here with me at least now, and we are struggling to kind of hit that top 30 objective because the racing is so crazy, but eventually I would get to the inside coming to the final lap of the stage. I passed the 12, I passed the 10, the 34 as well, and we're up here behind the 42 of John Hunter. Nemechek with 1 lap to go alongside Castro Neves, and into turn 3, ripping the top here. Kyle Larson's going to win the opening stage, and well, it looks like we're just barely going to hit the objective. I mean, right on the dot. We're going to be P30 here in stage number 1. So, I mean, we did hit the objective that I set for myself, but I was also hoping for better at the same time. So, yeah, frustrating, but we, of course, you know, we'll kind of go into stage 2 and continue kind of what we are now calling more of a recovery drive here, and I am confident that we can do this now as we get ready to go back green here for stage number 2. And this is a stage all about kind of setting up ourselves, getting hopefully in towards the top 15 to maybe, if we're lucky with the pit stops potential, we could maybe sneak into the top 10. So as we get back underway, Christopher Bell now leads the field over Kyle Larson. I can see from here, you got the 19, the 45, and the 24, all up there in the conversation as we head down this back straightaway. You got 1 extra lap of racing here in stage 2, 21 laps total, and again, we're going to start making this higher line work. How about the 84, Jimmy Johnson up here on the conversation as well, Noah Gregson, as well as the 60 of Priest, who's another driver that looks like he maybe got screwed by the timing of that first caution, of course, now as he was running up inside the top 15 as well, just like we were fighting for. Now as we've got 4 wide hosts of our Busher, Priest, and Gregson. Now around goes the 4. Gregson down the back straightaway is going to crash, and caution's going to fly again. The 4 loses it, and around he goes into turn 3. We even get a piece of it on the left front. Caution is out, but everybody's going to stay out, I believe, because we cannot make it to the end of the stage if we were to pit now. So we'll come in. We'll get tires when we, of course, have that green flag pit stop. But for now, we are going to just kind of deal with what we're kind of been given so far, which obviously not the start we were looking for to this stage because we've gone backwards. I mean, we had to give up some track position right there to make sure I didn't plow into the crashing number 4 of Noah Gregson. So we've still got a lot of racing in stage 2, but definitely a little bit, you know, frustrated with how the stage has begun because we've gotten a caution, we've burned through some laps, and we've gone nowhere. We've got absolutely nothing to show for what we've done so far here in this second stage of racing. But of course, we only had like I don't know, a lap and a half of racing there, if that. So we obviously are not in a position where we've been benefiting from very much so far here in today's race, and we just got to stay with it, because eventually things you expect to kind of fall your way, and you just got to keep fighting. You just got to keep yourself in position, and we were ripping the top lane, making some big passes here now around the outside. Now a lot of 3 wide moves, but honestly that's what makes the mile and a half racing so much fun in NASCAR 25, is the kind of racing like this where I can just go up to the outside wall and just let it rip. And of course there's some moments like this where you do have to of course deal with some guys in front of you kind of being in the way on the outside wall, and then you kind of have to search around a little bit for some more grooves, but then you sometimes get lucky and that outside eventually just opens up anyways. But absolutely fantastic racing here in the midfield, and as we're coming up on the halfway point in stage 2, bit of a moment there with the 54 into turn number 1, but we're going to get back to the outside, but we have gotten ourselves into the top 25, but the racing is so hectic. I could have forced it 4 wide right there. Didn't really want to do that and actually give the 77 a bit of a boost forward here in 3 and 4 and push Carson Hocevar further forward, but then dive down to the apron here as we come through down towards turn number 1. Absolutely fantastic racing here. Again, like I said, from this Kansas Speedway now side by side with the 54. The goal was kind of top 15, and I think I've got hopes that we're going to stay green here in stage 2, and then of course we can come in and make that pit stop and hopefully do a bit of an undercut as we're racing pretty well all of the RFK guys right here. You got Busher, you got Priest, you got Keselowski into turn 1. They're 3 wide. The entire RFK team is 3 wide here into turn number 1, and we're going to take advantage at least of Keselowski, but now we are going to come into the pits this time and do the undercut here in Kansas now, and really hope that this works out, because if we can maybe break into that top 15 or sneak, like I said, into the top 10, we'll be sitting really well going into that 3rd and final stage, and honestly still give ourselves an opportunity to win this race. And as we complete our pit stop, we'll return to the racetrack here from Kansas now. And we weren't the only one, of course, that pitted. You had the 45 that comes in front of us, the 2 of Cindric as well. We would eventually give up quite a bit of time to Cindric. Just one thing I've also noticed in this game, again, is the AI are way better at getting up to speed than the player, even when I'm full throttle. That's something I hope also gets adjusted here in the next game. As we now rip the top, and you see pit stops, drivers coming out of the pit lane. Here's AJ Allmendinger. I reckon we're going to be racing with him for the end of the stage, because we are coming up on 5 laps to go in stage 2. There's Chastain. There's the 11 and the 9. Allmendinger right behind us. Will we be top 10? The 41 of Cole Custer in front. He's actually, I believe, he's definitely pitting right here, and he's going to be giving up the lead, which will then put us back onto the lead lap. There he goes right now. So wait and see where we cycle out, but I believe we're going to be 8th or 9th. We are P8 on lap 19 of the stage, but here comes a hard-charging Chase Elliott to my inside as he looks alongside us down this back straightaway. I don't think we're going to be able to hold him off. He's just got a lot of speed in that Amazon Prime number 9. He's going to, sure enough, pass us down into turn number 3, and we just continue to rev the top. We might even have the momentum to get it back alongside him. I say that he clears me on the exit of turn 4, so there goes that. Now it's just trying to hold on to a top 10 here. I would, like I said at the beginning of stage 2, that would be exceeding expectations, but you're not going to hit that top 10 when you're hitting the wall instead. Through goes Chastain. Allmendinger does me a solid and gives me a push, fortunately, down into turn number 3. But as we exit turn 4, we're coming to the final lap here in stage number 2. And fortunately, actually, the 11 would eventually get to me and push me as well through 3 and 4. The 24 of William Byron wins the stage, and we're just gonna barely hold on. Thank goodness there wasn't any more laps, because we would have definitely probably dropped behind the 11, behind the 16, and there was some more cars coming as well at speed. So we were certainly lucky the stage ended when it did. So P10, we pick up 1 stage point, not exactly what we want to see, but of course we come into today's race as the championship leader, and I mean, we're at least on our way to rebounding pretty well. Here we go then. for the third and final stage here of this race. And William Byron and Kyle Larson seem to be the Hendrick cars to beat so far. We're back underway, and it's going to be 26 laps to go. Once more, we will be seeing yet another series of pit stops before the stage comes to an end as we follow the number 2 of Austin Cindric. How about Austin Cindric having a nice competitive run as well in that number 2 Penske Ford Mustang? A great drive there from him as the 11 gets to the inside. Behind us, you got the 16 of Omendinger as well, just about pushing us into turn 3, and here we go, making this outside line work. Now, one of the benefits about being up here now is we don't just have to force the outside to kind of make speed. We can kind of, get down to the inside and save a little bit of tire as well, because the reason we like to hustle on the top is because we're just trying to gain track position. Well, now we've got top 10 track position, so we don't need to completely hustle now as we're still 3 wide down this back straightaway. So we can kind of take our time, and that's a good spot to be in, just because you can save a little bit of that right front tire as we're to the outside of the Racers 20 Christopher Bell Toyota Camry there on the outside. Turn 4 down the front straightaway, 4 wide as Buscher shows the nose into turn 1. I drop back after that, not voluntarily, just because we were lacking that speed down the straightaway, but we would get to the inside and we would then pass the 20 and the 9 as they'll be 3 wide on the exit of turn 4. We'll cross back down to the front nose of the 23 of Bubba Wallace as we head into turn 1, and my goodness, again, the racing is just so enjoyable here on these 1.5 miles now as we'll look to the inside here of another car down this front straightaway. How about Chase Briscoe having a solid top 10 run, having a solid season with 1 win so far to show for it as Chastain goes all the way up to the wall, it looks like there, and we're actually going to pass him as well. So we move now up into the 7th position as we head down this back straightaway, and that would kind of be where I would settle in for a little bit now, and actually started moving back up to the outside, and that allows the 20 of Christopher Bell, who's kind of charging back forward to get to my inside here, and he should be able to pass me. He's 3 wide behind with Elliott, Briscoe, and Wallace as well. We'll get back down to the inside behind the 20 as Buscher runs right up against the wall. There's the 24, the 5, and the 11 currently occupy the top 3 spots as we'll clear the 17 on the exit of turn 2, utilizing that inside line. He'll give me a nice push forward, and now, of course, 8 laps of fuel in the car. We're not terribly far away from pit stops now as the 11 has taken the lead here as we've gotten to the back of the 48 now with help from the 17 coming. Big push, and actually to the inside here. Could have definitely done a better job of executing on that pass right there into turn 3, but we should still be able to complete it, and yes, we will in fact complete the pass, and now up into P6. So one of the things that's been great about this car all day long is we can run the bottom, we can run the top, we can run the middle. There's speed everywhere as they are 3 wide behind us now, back up to the outside to carry some momentum through. 1 and 2 is the 9 of Elliott trying to make that inside line work. He'll get alongside us down the back straightaway. It's been almost non-stop battles here today now as we would re-clear the 9 on the outside. He would eventually get behind me, but then that would open the door for Chris Buscher to now fire one up the inside here. And it seems like off turn 4 is really where the outside line is prevailing. Off turn 2 it helps, but off turn 4 that's definitely the sweet spot for the outside line, and you'll kind of see it here as we exit turn 4. Nice run down this front straightaway. I say that actually didn't really get that great of a run, and the 17 is actually going to pull in front of me here down the back straightaway, and a lot of cars running the bottom on the straightaway. I thought they were about to pit, but it won't matter because the leader, the number 11's around, and oh, the 9's going to catch a piece of it as well. Caution is out, and there goes any green flag. Pit stops. Everyone's going to come in now, and we'll get tires and we'll get some fuel and get ready to go racing for what's going to be a little over 10 laps to go or so left in this race. And Chastain, Ross Chastain had pitted. He was on the pit lane when that caution came out. So Chastain's actually your new leader. So as we get ready to go back racing, Ross Chastain, could he steal victory here today from the Advent Health 400 from Kansas Speedway? We're going to get back underway. It's going to be about 10 laps to go. It's going to be 11 laps to go to be exact. We've had a little bit of chaos sprinkled throughout this race. We had a crash when I had made my first pit stop at stage 1. We had a crash at the beginning of stage 2, and we've now had a crash here in the kind of midway point of this third and final stage. Not a great launch here off the restart now. The number 9 Chase Elliott's going to clear us, but we know exactly what we need to do into turn 3. Run this higher line and just let this car rip. Chastain still leads over Byron and Larson. Bell up there. How about Chris Buescher? Shot to the back of the 23 now. Logano showing the nose on the apron. He's going to make it 3 wide with Elliott and myself into turn number 1. Help coming from behind with the 2. They're going to be 4 wide in front of us. The 45 on the top, the 23 and the 9 in the middle, the 22 on the bottom. Fans down to just 3 wide, giving a shot to the back of the 45. And right now, not doing a good job of going forward because the racing is absurd here as we head down into turn 3. And do I show the nose to the outside? I thought better of it. I did not want to be on the outside of 4 wide. I have trust issues with the AI. And continuing to watch 3 wide battles as the 24 of William Byron has now gotten out front to the lead in that Raptor Chevrolet with less than 10 laps to go here from Kansas.
You're all clear.
Absolutely incredible racing. 3 wide on the exit of turn 4, 4 wide again with the, I believe that's the 12 of Blaney. Yes, it is. The 45, the 5, the 9 as well. Incredible scenes here from Kansas Speedway, but again, it's kind of left me with nowhere to go. I've been just trying to go, but I can't go anywhere. And they're 4 wide again as we exit turn 2, giving the one at Chastain a big shove into turn 3. But then on the center of 3 and exit of 4 would be right on the back of him again with another shot to his back bumper to push him forward. But like I said, I mean, great racing, but it's kind of kept us stuck at where we're at, around 10th to 11th place, and we just haven't been able to go anywhere now. But this is an opportunity. They left the outside wide open on the exit of turn 2 to the outside of Logano and passing the number 1 Kubota Chevrolet at Chastain. They're 3 wide behind us now as I'm trying to force it to the inside of the number 5 of Kyle Larson. It's 6 laps to go. The 45 alongside us into turn 1, getting back in behind the 5. Larson, he's going to drop down to the middle line now, trying to get to the outside of the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet as we exit turn 2 down the back straightaway, looking for help from behind. Couldn't quite get it, but as we would continue to rip the top, we get alongside Larson again with a big run on the exit of turn 4 here against this number 5, and it's going to be now 5 laps to go. 3 wide again through the tri-oval, and the racing just continues to be an absolute dog fight, and that's allowed the 24 of William Byron to run away because second on bank has just been scrapping as Ryan Blaney moves through into P2 over Chris Buescher. Near contact right there with the 23 of Wallace on the exit of turn 4 as we continue to fight close quarters racing now. Chastain going to give me a shove forward this time as we're coming up on 3 laps to go here from Kansas Speedway, and obviously no chance at winning without a caution, but we still might be able to go try and fight for a position or 2. But as these next couple laps kind of go on, it looks like we might just be fighting with the 45 who runs the top on the exit of the corner, but he's going to get a run to clear me, and we kind of flatlined at this point, and I wasn't really surprised because I had kind of used up everything I had on that restart to really go nowhere. Coming to the final lap here from Kansas Speedway, William Byron takes the white flag as we come through in P8. We got a comfortable gap to Logano and everybody else, so we aren't really worried about giving up any more track position now as Kyle Larson, who's still winless on the season, hard to believe, drops back to P7 down this back straightaway. Meanwhile, his teammate, the number 24 of William Byron, leads through 3 and 4 one more time over Blaney. Bell, who's eventually moved into third over Buescher, and 3 wide behind them with the 45, 5, and 19. William Byron wins in Kansas. We will bring it home for a respectable 8th place result. Could have been much better. Could have been much worse based off the way some of those cautions fell earlier in the race. So honestly, I'll gladly take that 8th place effort. Also a win for the number 24 strategist, actually. Mac and Cheese Boy picks up the win here. So congratulations to Mac and Cheese Boy. That's their 5th win as a pit crew member of the channel. So congratulations to them. Looking at the points, we are at the top at 467 over Kyle Larson's 449. Larson does not have a win, but he's still having a great season. Byron at 431. You see the rest of the standings. You can pause if you need to, but showing it now, because of the fact that we're going now into the All-Star race, where it is, of course, not a points race. Now, this is kind of where we kicked things off last season for the kind of charge that allowed us to win races for the first time, and that was winning the All-Star race. So as we come through into the All-Star race now, qualifying in the yellow Robin Hood paint scheme on the car here this weekend as we exit turn 2 down the back straightaway in towards turn number 3. One of my favorite things about getting to do the short tracks is I actually get to shift because we don't lose too much time against the AI on restart, so manual transmission you can kind of do. That was my fastest lap there. Lap 2 I did go slower. Christopher Bell would take pole position for the All-Star race. As for myself, we would go P12. So clearly a bit of work to do, but we won this race last season. There's no reason we can't go win $1 million again and get our 4th win of the season. Of course, wouldn't count as a 4th win in terms of points racing, but it still would be a 4th victory if we can pull it off here. Under the lights in North Wilkesboro as the fireworks are going off in the background, and we are ready to go racing here for $1 million now, and 1 week almost, I guess, before we take part in the Indianapolis 500 double alongside the Coke 600. Let's go racing then here from the All-Star race in North Wilkesboro. 23 cars, and we start again kind of right smack dab in the middle, just like we did in Kansas Speedway. Christopher Bell, unless something goes wrong or unless there's some awkward timing with a caution, it's going to be very difficult and honestly, dare I say, borderline impossible to be able to beat that number 20 here this evening from North Wilkesboro. So really the goal for me is to just try and get into the top 10 first of all, and then we'll kind of, look at our situation at that point and kind of reapply some new objectives and kind of go forward from that point on. That's kind of where we stand at this current point now. So as we continue on here, getting to the inside, that was the main thing, wanting to get to the inside line and start working our way forward. Some great battling right there in front of us now, and we should be able to pass the 17 of Chris Buescher. We should be able to pass the number 5 of Kyle Larson here, and we will pass the 17 eventually here as we roll through 1 and 2 now. But Kyle Larson now we get alongside here on lap 4 of 63. Relatively short race, but I mean, of course, it is the All-Star race, so not expecting it to be super long. And we are working on passing this number 5 of Kyle Larson here, and as we roll through 1 and 2 now on lap 5 alongside him, Kyle Larson was not making life easy in terms of completing this overtake. Now he said, you know what, you're gonna really have to work for this one if you're gonna get in front of me, but eventually here as we continue to fight side by side, if you just stay on this inside long enough and stay patient long enough, you will prevail, and that's exactly what would happen here now as we come through to the exit of turn 4, lap 6 now alongside as well the 9 of Elliott. So we clear the 5, but we have now gotten ourselves entered straight into another battle at this point as we clear the 9 on the exit of turn 2, but then as I kind of slid across his nose, and that opens the door for Kyle Larson to get back up my inside. So Larson now unfortunately is going to now get back in front of me, so we're gonna have to get back in line behind him, and now we're gonna have to repass this number 5. Now I'm not too worried yet. I still think we're going to have pace to continue to climb forward, but I mean, we've already gotten ourselves into the top 10, but I mean, looking at the track map, the 20 of Christopher Bell continues to either beat my pace or at best I'm able to match his pace, but I'm not really gaining on him, and considering the cars I would have to pass to get to him, it's just not a feasible strategy. So the only thing that we can really hope for right now is a caution, as we've gotten up to 8th place now behind the 22 of Joey Logano. We're going to need a restart to really get ourselves into the conversation, racing with the number 20 of Christopher Bell, as we are slipping and sliding around a little bit here on lap 18 of 63. Chastain up there in P6 having a good run. Around goes the 22. Logano's around. Caution is going to fly, and that's what we were looking for. But what I was not expecting to see was this. The top 4 drivers are going to pit. Now, that's the right move, so I'm going to follow suit. I would pit as well with Bell, Byron Kozlowski, and Blaney, as well as Noah Gregson coming in, because now, after all of us pitted, we can make it to the end of this race. And I don't know why nobody else came into the pits, because the AI that did not pit, they cannot make it. So they are banking on a different strategy. I guess I get it. They're trying to do a different strategy. And their strategy is hoping we run, say, 15 to 20 laps, and then a caution comes out, and then we haven't gotten to the lead by that point, because then everyone will have to pit again, including myself, because we won't be able to stay out with that much of a tire disadvantage.
Clear outside.
Speaking of disadvantages, The 20 of Christopher Bell, who was dominating this race, has been passed by multiple cars with the same set of tires, including myself, and Bell actually would drop all the way down to the very bottom of the grid, and now we are moving forward. Blaney's currently the furthest forward on fresh tires, but he's actually gotten trapped on the outside line. So as I'm continuing to run the bottom, I know that I have to stay on the bottom no matter what, because that's going to be where the track will clear up and let me come through, and that's exactly what's happening right now. We would get alongside the 12 of Blaney, and we will now pass him and move up in front of him. So right now, we're putting ourselves in the best position to go and win this race, and we're coming up on just about halfway here from Wilkesboro now, and I would expect the drivers that did not pit to have to pit around anywhere between 40 to 45 would be my guess, meaning we are not far away from seeing that happen, and then that would promote us to the lead. As long as we get to that point, we're in good shape. Now, Christopher Bell was actually working his way back forward. You can see my mirror. He has moved himself up to behind the 48, so Bell is clawing his way back forward. However, he would actually move back up to the top lane, which you can see now in the mirror, and as soon as he did that, he would start to fall back down the order, and that pretty well seals his fate on his potential to win this race. And we have got ourselves again just in perfect position, and I'm taking my time at this point now. There was a little bit of hustle, because it's like, okay, if a caution does come out, like, we're going to be in 8th and everyone's going to have to pit, including myself. But at the same time, I was kind of just banking on the fact that this is going to go green until the very end. So I wasn't like feeling like I had to really go too hard. And now to the inside of the Kubota number 1 of Ross Chastain. This will move us up into P6, and we're officially past the halfway point of this race as well. And at this point, just letting these laps kind of log on and count down at this point now, because I know we are now in officially positioned to win this all-star race if it goes green to the end, and actually getting a little bit aggressive, making a move to the outside of the fast in 017. Busher shuts the door, says, yeah, you're not doing that. So now having to jump down to the inside, and we'll pass him that way. So easy enough, job still well done, and this would promote us into the top 5 here as we continue to lap 37 and approaching lap 38 a few laps later. Now up behind the 22 of Joey Logano as we head down into turn number 1. We'll go around the outside of the Shell Pennzoil Ford. Now, I mean, also showcasing we can really make this car work just about anywhere we need to make it work right now, and this Robin Hood number 15 was an absolute blast to just be behind the wheel of at this point now. And as we'll now get to the outside as well of the 21 of Josh Berry, we'll just continue to go forward here, approaching the final 20 or so laps here of this race. And we now move into P3. When are the leaders going to pit? We know it's about to happen here. The 11 is leading over the 9. I expect pit stops within the next couple of moments here, as there it is. The 11 pits finally on lap 45, and Chase Elliott will be the next one to come in and hand over the lead to me. Pit road is about to fill up and get busy, as the 11 is actually going to come out right here alongside the 9. Bit of contact, actually. I think the 9 was trying to pit right there. Bit of an awkward moment. That could have very easily led to a caution that I would not have wanted to see, because it would have allowed the 20 of Bell to get up here. It would have allowed the 24 of Byron to get up here as well. But as we come through 1, exiting turn 2, the 9 is now going to get out of the way and pit here at the end of lap 49. He went a little bit further than I was expecting him to, but nonetheless, to the lead, and now we just hope it stays green with 10 laps to go, and we will win this race now, as here comes the 9 of Chase Elliott after making his pit stop to my inside. He's going to get through there and unlap himself. I think he's 2 laps down, though, if I'm not mistaken. So Byron, Kozlowski, Bell, and Blaney are making up 2nd through 5th right now, and I think the 24 has got enough pace for me, but he just doesn't have the time, and obviously needs to be with me to be able to put that pace to work. So at this point now, we're just hanging on, bringing it home, and really did not expect the race to kind of fall the way it did. It really kind of fell into our lap with that caution and the pit strategy, and as we now are approaching the final final lap here of this race from North Wilkesboro. Well, we're about to hand the Going pit crew members on the number 15 team another victory on the season, because as we roll through 1 and off turn 2 down the back straightaway, we won the $1 million last season in the All-Star race on strategy. It looks like we're going to do it again as we roll through 3 off turn 4 here in North Wilkesboro under the lights. We go back-to-back 2-time consecutive All-Star race winner here from North Wilkesboro. Let's go. We take it. Obviously, not a points win, but it's still a major win for our team. It's a $1 million win for us, and Glenn Lawrence is our spotter. Sean Sinclair, Trey K, and Thomas as well. Congratulations to you guys. As you see the rest of your finishing order, barely anybody on the lead lap. It kind of looks like a North Wilkesboro race just because of the fact that, you know, the awkward strategies that kind of allowed that to happen. Chase Briscoe ends up dead last in 23rd. Kyle Larson 17th. Rough race for him as well. That does it for me. Next episode, we get to do the double with the Indy 500 as well as the Coke 600 all in the same episode. I will see you guys then. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.